Are you tired of working all day, but at the end of the day, you feel like you've accomplished absolutely nothing? The key to getting some of those tasks off your plate is to create systems, but you probably don't know where to start. Well, we're going to fix that right now. No matter what stage you are in your business, you need systems. Like habits, systems and automation in your business increase your productivity, give you peace of mind, and more importantly, leads to growth. So in this episode, I'm going to share 15 processes you need to get in place in your business because they support sustainable growth. The best part is you can grab a copy of my Biz Ops checklist from my free online resource vault, and you can use it to follow along with this episode, or you can audit your back office later. A link to that is in the show notes. Now, before I dive in, I want to share the review of the week, which is from Petty Girl, who says, "Love Shannon's sexy systems. Love your interview with Allison. Great show." Well, thank you so much for listening, Petty Girl. And if you want to listen to the episode that she mentions, it's episode number 3. Now, if you would like to show me some love by leaving a review, please go to Apple Podcasts and do so, and I'll feature you on an upcoming episode as well. And now, let's dive into episode number 24. Welcome back to the More Than Capable Mompreneur podcast. I'm Shannon Baker, a coffee-loving mompreneur that started as a virtual assistant and turned into a total systems geek. And I want to help you shift your mindset and embrace your worthiness while creating systems in your business so you can be more productive and build success on your own terms without the mom guilt. Are you loving that? Well, I hope you're ready for real conversations that will help you beat the perfectionist inside, rediscover your strengths, and up-level your self-love in the mom cracks of time so you can stop letting fear hold you back because you are enough and you do enough. We are more than capable mompreneurs. So grab your cup of coffee, some sparkling water, or pour a glass of your favorite wine and let's dive in. Do you have a business or do you have a you? Let me explain that. If you don't have any systems in place for business tasks that you do repeatedly, you have a you, meaning if you don't do it, it doesn't get done. If you have systems in place and some of those routine tasks happen automatically without you, then girlfriend, you have a business. No matter which one of these describes you, we always have something new that we need to create a process for. And we definitely need to review our existing processes to make sure that they're still efficient every year. When I started my business, no one told me that I needed to put systems in place to get more work done in less time. Not to mention, I wish I would have known that they would make me more efficient. But better late than never. Now, what exactly is a business system? A business system has 3 parts that work together to perform a specific task. It includes a documented process, the tools needed, and the people that complete the steps. A streamlined system reduces mistakes, produces consistent results, eliminates chaos and confusion, and they're the foundation that successful businesses are built on. And if you're wondering why I call them sexy systems, it's because you're going to feel pretty sexy when all of your processes are automated and you have the time that you need to focus on growing your business, knowing that you have a strong foundation in place. Plus, you'll be able to enjoy time with your family and friends. And who doesn't want that? Now, how exactly do you determine what needs a process? And where do you even start? Well, don't worry. That's what we're going to talk about today. Now, don't forget to grab a copy of my Biz Ops checklist, which is in my free online resource vault. I'm going to walk you through all 15 processes that are on that checklist. So process number 1, do you have a long-term vision for your business? Now, I understand it might shift, but you're always going to need to know your vision because it's your one big goal that your processes need to support. So this is very key to this entire thing. And yes, that is a process because with your long-term vision, you need to map out a plan to get there. Number 2, who is your ideal client avatar, your ICA? You need to know exactly who you're talking to, what their frustrations are, and the transformation that your services are going to provide for them. Without that, you can't create customer-focused processes. you can't provide or deliver in a manner that solves their problem and makes their life easier. That's what your business is supposed to be about. So you have to be clear on that, because everything that you do needs to make that promise happen. Number 3, now this is where we get into the nitty-gritty. You need to have a central location where you store all of your files, including your corporate documents, your templates, and your standard operating procedures. And those are just a few of the things that you need to have located here. Now, this is huge because it will help you to work more efficiently when you can find the things that you need. Now, if you need help creating a digital filing system, then make sure you go back and listen to episode 16, because I walk you through a 3-step process to help you take care of that. Now for number 4, do you have a website that accurately reflects your personality, speaks to your brand accurately, and brings in qualified leads consistently? If you don't know who your ideal client is, then your messaging is not on point. You definitely need to be authentic, because that's how people are going to relate to you. And as far as bringing in qualified leads, that's where your customer care process comes in. How do you capture their information? What happens after they give you their email address? If you need help with that process, make sure you go back and listen to episodes number 6 and episode number 22, where I walk you through the process and the pieces that you need to create those super fans that are going to keep coming to you for your services, and they're also going to bring you referrals. But that will only happen if you have that customer care process in place. Now, for number 6, I believe, do you have a clear process for backing up your computer files, your website, your databases, and for people that you outsource tasks to? This is very important because, 1, you don't want to lose any of your data on your hard drive, so it needs to be backed up somewhere. You definitely don't want to lose any of the information that you have on your website, so you need to be backing that up on a regular basis. And if you have a blog that's separate, or even if it's part of your website, that information needs to be backed up, because let's face it, technology can fail. So it always pays to have a backup copy of your information just in case you need it. Now for number 6, you need to have an electronic calendar that you use to keep track of what's happening, not only in your personal life, but also in your business, so that you don't overbook yourself. I use Acuity for my online scheduling, and it syncs with my Google Calendar, which has my personal and business appointments on it. That way it's always up to date with what's going on in my life, and clients do not book calls when I'm obligated to do something else. But it depends on me to keep my calendar up to date. Now, number 7, do you have a clear process for qualifying and nurturing leads into clients? It should be automated so that this happens consistently. So if you have a calendar or scheduling app set up like Acuity, what happens for me when someone books an appointment? Zapier then moves that person's contact information, because they've completed the questions on my intake form, which qualifies them before I talk to them, puts that into a spreadsheet for me, and creates a card in Trello so that I can track them and not lose that lead. You need to have a process like that in place. That way you can track those new leads through your customer journey. And again, a scheduling app, you can set up those questions which qualify them in advance, so you're not wasting time with people who are either not ready for your services or just are not a good fit, which that also means make sure that that qualifying call is at least 15 minutes, but no more than 30 minutes, because it will not take you that long to figure out whether or not you and this person are really a good fit for each other. Process number 8. You need to have a clear process for onboarding new clients. That needs to include getting your contract signed, collecting your payment, and I don't mean invoicing. I mean, if that's what you do, okay. But I collect my payment upfront when they book appointments. It's integrated with my PayPal, but your scheduling app should also integrate with Stripe or any one of the other online merchants that are available today. The bottom line is automate the process and make sure it's customer focused so that it has the least amount of steps as possible so that they don't get frustrated and they're just starting to work with you. That's not the way you want your relationship to start. And number 9, we're still talking about payments, and all of this is part of your money management system. You need to have a clear process for collecting monthly payments automatically via PayPal, Square, Stripe, whatever the case may be, instead of having to chase people for your money. And this only applies if you work on retainer. Like I used to work on monthly retainers as a virtual assistant, but my payments hit their bank the same day every single month. There was a process for that. I have a process in place, or had a process in place, for if the charge was declined, whatever the case may be, there was a process for all of that. Process number 10, you need to have clear directions for communicating with people inside of your business and outside of your business. So inside would include anyone that you outsource work to, or if you subcontract work. I hope you're using something like Slack or Voxer that's integrated so that you can keep up with the conversations and assign tasks as needed. And then outside of your business, this will be email templates that you need to use to respond to frequently asked questions you get via emails. If someone requests a coffee chat, if you go to a networking event and want to continue the conversation, all of that is communication outside of your business. You need to have a process for how you handle that. Number 11, you need to be able to track your income and your expenses every month so that you have a good understanding of your finances. You need to keep the finger on the pulse when it comes to your funds. For example, I had a client once who made $75,000 in a year, but because she did not track her money in and out of the business, she had no idea where her money was spent. So you need to use a spreadsheet, use QuickBooks, whatever the case may be. You need to track your money. For my monthly expenses, I have a spreadsheet that lists everything that comes out of my account automatically, the date that it's going to hit my account, and what account it's going to hit and how. Some are directly to a card and some are automatic bank withdrawal subscriptions. Whatever the case may be, it's reflected in my spreadsheet so that way, when I do an audit, if I want to get rid of a tool, I know how it's paid so that I can cancel that and I'm aware of it and can track it each month. But all of this is part of your money management system. Number 12, you need to have a marketing plan and then have tasks that you work on every single week that will, one, grow your email list, increase your community online, and grow your business all in one. But it needs to be a cohesive plan that covers all of the touch points so that you're not spinning your wheels, but where you're putting your effort, it actually brings you results. Speaking of marketing, number 13, you need to have a freebie that establishes you as an expert. It needs to directly relate to your paid offers, match your brand style, and it needs to be automated. So in essence, you need to have a focused marketing funnel that nurtures that lead, and it starts with a freebie and it should lead to a paid offer. And number 14 wraps up the vision of your marketing. There should be a process in place for you to track your marketing metrics so you can see what's working, what isn't, and then you can make improvements accordingly. And then number 15, you need to have a process in place and a contract ready for when you start building your future dream team. I've talked about this before, but instead of hiring for a specific task, you need to, one, create an org chart that reflects the growth that you want your business to have. And then 2, you need to create job descriptions. And then that way, when you start outsourcing tasks and creating your dream team, you are delegating specific groups of tasks and you're filling a role and not just kind of nitpicking here and there, because that's not efficient. So build your dream team based on your org chart. All of that goes together and it is a process of its own. So those are the 15 processes that make up part of the 6 sexy systems that you need to have in place. So how many of these do you already have in place in your business? Which are you missing? This is what I want you to think about. This is your homework. I want you to commit to working on one of the missing processes in the next 30 days. Commit to it, meaning that's what you focus on doing. Then pick a second one that you can focus on after that. But the key is to focus on one, and you do not move on until you get that one process in place. That means it's mapped out, it's automated as much as possible. And if you're not delegating right now, then the person that's the contact for everything is you. But just keep this in mind. If you automate parts of just 3 basic processes over the next 90 days, you can save yourself 10 minutes per process, which gives you an extra 30 minutes every day. That's 4.5 hours minimum every week. Now, what would you like to do with that time? Now that I really have your attention, let's talk about how checklists can help you get your processes documented so that you can start building out these systems. Checklists are great visual reminders of the things that we need to do in logical order. They improve your performance, eliminate mistakes, and they help you achieve more consistent results while they save you time. And they're easy to create. So if you want help to start creating your processes as checklists, make sure you check out episode 13, because I share a 4-step process that will help you create simple checklists, which are the starting point to creating your sexy systems. Well, that is all I have for you today, as if I didn't give you a lot. So make sure that you grab the checklist out of the online resource vault, because I know I laid a lot on you today. Again, the link is in the show notes. Now, make sure you tune in next week for episode 25, because it's going to be a very special episode. I'm sharing the 5 lessons that I've learned in the past 4 months of podcasting, and I really cannot believe how fast the time has gone by. So before I hop off, I want to say thank you so much for joining me for this week's episode. Don't forget to grab that download, and links to the episodes that I mentioned are also going to be in the show notes. Now, if you learned something new in today's show, please let me know. Take a screenshot, post it in Instagram stories, and tag me at the More Than Capable Mompreneur. And if you need help getting any of these processes in place, feel free to hop on a call with me and we can walk through it together. That's what I do in my 30-minute system strategy sessions. You can try to do this on your own, but let's face it, it can be very frustrating and overwhelming because you've got so much going on. I can help shorten the learning curve so you can get these systems in place as quick as possible. Now, on that call, it's 30 minutes again. We do it on Zoom, but you leave with 2 to 3 action points that you can do immediately to streamline the most important process that you need in place right now to help you reach your goal. A link to that is also going to be in the show notes. So that's all I have for today. And remember, you are enough and you do enough. And until next time, keep calm and streamline.